All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Talk Smack with Mac MMA. More specifically, I'm dialing down on the MMA talk. I know most of the fighters, they're like, man, fuck basketball, fuck football. I fight. That's what I do. Blood, sweat, and tears. I'm in the cage all day, every day. And I say, you know what? I feel you guys. Let me talk to a whole bunch of fighters then. But on this first episode on Talk Smack with Mac MMA, I got my dog Jahliel Palmer, man. There's a young cat, fresh face in the cage. This dude has the work ethic to take him wherever the fuck he wants to go. How you doing, bro?
I'm chilling. How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. I just woke up from a little nap. Like I told you, I'm rejuvenated. Yeah. I'm ready to go right now. Right. But I'm excited to get this first episode going. Like I was telling you before, I got a good relationship going with the Cage Wars guys up there in the Northeast. So I want to continue that shit going and basically just gear most of my podcast towards you guys, man. Is there anything that you got to say about Cage Wars?
Shout out Cage Wars right now before you even get started. Yeah, Cage Wars is like, honestly, as far as like amateur MMA, and when I first got into Cage Wars, I didn't even notice, but like it's really, in my opinion, like the UFC of like amateur MMA. You know what I mean? Like the way they handle the fighters, from like weigh-ins to everything, the fight night, like everything about Cage Wars is just like top of the level when it comes to amateur MMA.
Yeah, man. I've noticed that. Talking with Ben, like I was telling you, he's a cool ass cat. He knows his shit about fighting, man. So shout out to him.
Yeah, he's one of my dogs too. I ran into him. He was like the first person I saw on the last fight card I was scheduled to fight at, and like he had chat, like we was like talking. And he had told me that like my opponent's blood work wasn't there, and that was like when I had found out the news. So like it was cool that I found out from him because he's like a cool dude. And then after, like 2 weeks after, I had seen him at Walmart with his mom, and like it was a cool little moment where we chatted it up and like took a picture.
Yeah.
Ben is like, and then Jay too. He's like the other Jay Ingleson.
No, I don't.
Well, like him and Ben are like the two commentators, and on my birthday, like they got to like I got to like walk around with them and like watch the octagon get put up, and that was like a cool little like moment for my birthday, and chatted up with those dudes. So shout out to them for that, because
that's badass.
It made the whole like just event way better.
Yeah, it was your birthday. How old you turn?
20.
Yeah, man, I knew you're a baby in the cage, man. That's dope. So I wanted to jump in. I know you had to fight in September, right?
Yeah.
That fight
September
didn't go
11th.
your way. And tell me about, I want to know the experience, the feelings that you had leading up to the fight, the day of the fight, right when you step into the cage, and then the feelings after. How did that all transpire and go about?
All right, so I say like I start with like the week like of the fight, you know what I mean? Up until like, I would like start there and lead up to the fight. Like the week of the fight was just like basically just pure like excitement, because it was like, all right, we had got through like the training camp together with my guys, like all the other stuff, you know what I mean? Like the hard work, and it was just like, all right, now I'm just ready to go, you know what I mean? Like full speed ahead. But then it was like trying to like focus and like zone in on like the game plan and like what I was supposed to be doing in that fight, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was like how that went. And then it was just like, just staying focused. That was my biggest thing. It was like, I know it's going to be like, because it was my first time even going to an MMA event or anything like that. I was like, all right, this is going to be like a somewhat new environment to me, you know what I mean? So just try to like stay focused, calm, like cool composure and everything. And then that was like the whole like week up until the fight. Then I got there, weigh-ins, and then I remember seeing the dude I had fought, and like it was like, oh wow, like this isn't like as crazy as I thought it was gonna be, you know what I mean? Like when you fight somebody in your head, you know, it's like, all right, but it was like, all right, like it was like I understood we both got a job to do, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just us fighting, you know what I mean? So that was cool. Like, and then the day of the fight, like I remember being in my hotel room, like just chilling, really being with my teammates, like going down there, and then like up until like I walked out, we was just in the back, like chilling, working on like specific stuff that was like planned for me to do in the fight. And then
that's your adrenaline at camp and leading up.
Yeah. And then it was like, all right, John, it's time to walk out. I was the first fight. And then this is like a funny moment. So like the whole like a big thing in my head, like going up into the fight, was my walkout song. It was gonna be Fight or Flight by G Herbo. I don't know if you've heard that, but that was gonna be the song I walked out to. And then like I'm getting ready to walk out, and they like oh, Jah, we can't find your song. And I'm like,
come
yeah,
on now.
I'm like, it was just like, and then as soon as that happened, it was just like just crazy like emotion. I don't even just angry. I'm like, what? Like, but then it was crazy. It was like I used it I was like, all right. If I don't got music, we just finna go crazy. And then the song played. It was like some song with like Eminem and Lil Wayne. But I remember like just being mad about my song not being found or whatever. So then like once I had walked into the cage, he was already in there. And I remember just looking at him like, all right, like I ain't like, and this was a mistake on my end there, like a lesson I learned where it was like I wasn't even think like it was just I was mad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like I'm just mad. So the fight started. I remember I think I had like reached out for a glove touch, and then like I threw a front kick, and then after the front kick, it was just like boom, just everything like it was crazy. It's like times like 100, but in slow motion. You know what I mean? Like times going super fast, but like super slow at the same time. And then I remember he had like I had threw like a jab straight, and then he was like backing up against the cage, and then he shot a takedown, a double leg, something. It was a double leg, and then I remember like turning, getting my back to the wall, and like grabbing a wizard. That's what it was. And this was crazy because it was like in my head, I didn't even think about doing it. You know what I mean? It was like
just
we
muscle
drilled
memory.
It was like I was like, all right, and then like literally, I remember him taking me down, and just next thing I knew, I was on my feet, and now I'm like, oh man, hold up, wait, what? Like we good? You know what I mean? Just sticking to the game plan and grab the wizard, turn out, throw like a knee, get space. And now I'm like, and now I got like the circle, the center of the octagon with him against the cage. You know what I mean? So then like he's circling away. I'm like. Now I'm like, all right, he just took me down and I got up and didn't even like feel anything. You know what I mean? So now I'm like just full speed, throwing everything, hooks, like front kicks, straights. And then it was like a straight or something like that, that I remember it hitting him and his head turning, like his whole, like just turning away. And I was like, oh man. And this was like the biggest mistake I made. I was like, oh man. And then I started like, I sat down, started to walk in, threw like a jab straight. Boom, he shoots a double leg, and then what is it? I try to like, I kind of go for like something, but it's not like 100%. You know what I mean? I was like half-assing. So then he turns the corner, and then he got my back. Yeah, took my back, and all through the training camp, I was told he's a good jiu-jitsu player. You know what I mean? Like that's like we wanted to keep the fight standing. So when he had my back, it was like boom. He had my back, and next thing I knew, he had a body triangle in. And in my head, like I was expecting it to be hooks. You know what I mean? Like even though like a body triangle was something like we trained and defend, it was like it was kind of just from being new in the sport. You know what I mean? To where it was like, oh, go for the hook. So then I go to like fight the hooks to get my back on the mat and turn into the choke. You know what I mean? But then by the time I'm like, oh wait, I realized it's a body triangle. The room's starting to, you know what I mean, black out like it. So I'm like, oh man, it's definitely all right. And then I tapped, and then it was just a feeling of like everything, like crazy, just adrenaline dump. Like I don't even remember hearing anything. You know what I mean? It was just like
so focused,
just craziness. So then I get up, and then I remember like looking at him, and then he had like dapped me up, you know, like the casual. I was like, all right. And then I realized like, all right, like that didn't go my way, but that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like when you play the game that way, that's what happens. So then I was like, all right. But then it was crazy because I was like, yo, even though that just happened, I'm ready to go again right now. You know what I mean? It was like a burning, like, oh man, like you know how it is when you lose a game or something like that. It's like that's running back. And then I remember looking at him, and
spirit takes
like,
over.
He had a cut that I didn't even like because I was so just like trying to do damage. I didn't even realize, but he had a cut over his eye and he was like kind of bruised up. And I was like, wow, maybe if I would have just took a minute to reach, because I literally didn't take a step back the whole entire fight. That was like crazy. You know what I mean? But it was just
forward throwing.
Yeah. So then I was like, all right. But then I remember looking at my coach like, damn, that was the biggest, like, I was just looking at like, damn. And then he looked at me and he was like, hold your chin up high. Like, he like that shit was like one of the realest moments of my life. You know what I mean? Because when you in there, it's like one of the lowest lows you could experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, hold your chin up high. You know what I mean? Like, that was like, you didn't follow the game plan, but it wasn't a horrible performance. You know what I mean? Like, you went out there and you fought. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I got in there. It takes a lot of
fucking guts to get in there and do what you guys did, man. Yeah. So and like automatically props off to y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. But then it was like I gave him a hug, and that shit, it just had me like, all right, let's get back to the gym on Monday. You know what I mean? And then it was like I had other teammates fighting, so it was like it wasn't all about me no more. You know what I mean? It was like, all right. Like, that was what I was supposed to do, but now it's time to support the team and keep it going. Because for me, I'm not trying to be that one guy, like, oh, me as well. You know what I mean? Like, it happened. And then I had a lot of older guys, like, in the back from the team talk to me about, like, it happens in the sport sometimes. You just learn from it and grow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that, like, made me just refocus and, like, all right, come on. Like, it's time to support your teammates. And then after the night, like, it was just a cool night overall. But yeah, that's how the fight went in my head. You know what I mean?
Dope, man. To be able to, like, there's only so many things you could do to, like, get those feelings, get those butterflies that come with fighting, with, locking yourself in a cage with another human being and fucking throwing hands and feet and limbs and trying to choke each other and take each other's heads off and shit. Just jumping out of an airplane, fighting, just crazy, crazy shit.
Right.
That's awesome that you had those feelings, and it's even doper that you were able to take that loss and learn through failure and get right back into the gym. What was that, 5 months ago?
Yeah,
about 5 months ago.
6. Yeah.
And you say you moved in with Kyle, a badass motherfucker that everybody at your gym talks and raves about. So
the gym, that's like it's really like a second. It's not even like a gym; it's like a family. You know what I mean? Like, I spend, if I'm not at work, I'm at the gym training or at my coach house training with them dudes for real. Like, it's crazy how close we've got. And just like, not even just the fighters, you know what I mean? But everybody in there, like the environment, culture is just, it's just family. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It seems like, definitely from the outside looking in, it seems like you guys really vibe well. I see all the pictures that you guys take in training outside the gym, doing sprints and shit. And
yeah, that's crazy. You just said that.
Yeah, man. So I see you guys push each other to that next level. And
pictures.
It's really awesome to follow your guys' journeys.
Like,
nice.
My dog.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So I know you had another fight that was supposed to take place recently, but it got canceled. It's unfortunate. I feel like that's part of the game, especially with COVID and people getting sick and getting injuries and shit like that. But you have another fight coming up.
Yes, sir.
God forbid, knock on wood, make sure everybody stays healthy so both you guys could get in there and throw them fucking things and excite the crowd. But how do you feel like you have grown from last fight to now?
Just my awareness, how fast I see things, you know what I mean? Like, when you're in there, and then how many things I see, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just like, I don't know how to explain it, but just my awareness and like just being able to think more with what, like, being more in tune with like what I want to do in my body.
Compose,
you know what
I mean?
Yeah, compose.
Like you said, it was going 100 miles an hour, but in slow motion at the same time. And now
like, literally, I remember my coach, he was telling me like the game, like he was like, he wanted me to be a ghost in there, and it was literally, I was like a bull in a china shop. You know what I mean? And that was like the lesson I learned. It's like, yeah, man, just And then that's something that Kyle has helped me with a ton too. Like, it's just thinking more, you know what I mean? And not trying to be so aggressive and you know what I mean? It's like, you got to know when to use it. That's what he says. Like, you got to know when to use it. And that's something. And then just I feel like the growth I've had outside of fighting, you know what I mean, has helped me as well, just from being around those dudes. And you know how it is in the gym when you have like a crazy session or whatever, and you have those conversations just about like not even fighting, but just life. And it just helps you know what I mean? Just wherever you're at in life. So I feel like that's the big, I've just grown, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're still a young guy, and being able to surround yourself with people that are mature and trying to chase their dreams and busting their ass every day, that's contagious.
Yes. And then getting to be around, like, we got a lot of young dudes that like, and even the older dudes, like, just that type of like, just fuel of inspiration, you know what I mean? And motivation is just crazy.
Yeah,
like,
I love it.
Got like 16-year-olds that I'm like, oh, like they pushing me in like the conditioning or sprints, you know what I mean? And it's like, let's go, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, you already know me. Conditioning is, something that I try to pride myself on. I've been injured for a long time, but I want to know what's some conditioning stuff that you do at do you go to like traditional weight gyms at all, or places with like, Stairmasters?
We do a lot of outside work. a lot of outside, you know, like, and that was the craziest part about the fight that didn't happen was all outside. That was my first time really working like that outside in the snow. You know what I mean? Like, so that was a whole other level of crazy.
I know very little of working in the snow.
It was definitely, it pushed me to like a whole another level of like cardio and you know what I mean? Just being able to go as hard as I can for as long, you know what I mean? Like that's grown.
What were you doing in the snow in terms of cardio?
Just like sprints, you know, double legs, like running with dudes on your back, you know what I mean? Just a lot of like teamwork, you know what I mean? Like working together, like bear crawls up hills, you know what I mean? Like sprints, just running in circles. Coach, like, all right, one more, you know, just that type of work, just hard work, you know what I mean?
See, man, I'm trying to find some homies around like my house, you know, because the gym I go to is like on the other side of town. So I'm trying to find homies around my house that like to do weird shit like that. Like, come on, man, let's go to the park and do some bear crawls and do some sprints and shit. And let me carry you and whatnot.
Right, definitely.
I'm gonna take a trip out there to New York, man, so I can come and train with you guys.
Yeah, man. If you want to work, like, come hit up Mohawk Valley MMA. You know what I mean? Like, we know how to work.
Ben's been telling me to take a trip out there and watch one of the cards and stuff. So it's definitely in my future plans.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna try to come out there like 2 or 3 days early, so I could definitely try to get like a little session in with you guys.
Yeah, man. You got to meet Duff too. Like, I call him Duff the Don. Like, he's really like, in my head, that guy's like, as far as like MMA coaching and all of that stuff, like mine, just on a whole nother level. Like, yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, just the fact that I like, sometimes I'll just be in the gym like, yo, it's crazy that I really get to like be around this guy. You know what I mean? Like, just from seeing him and like the stuff he did when I was a younger kid, you know, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, bro, you got a fight coming up. What's it, in about 4 weeks, you said, right?
Yeah, April 29th.
April 29th, 4 days after my birthday. So time. Yeah, and I know it's about to go down. I know you're itching to get back in there and just show how much you have grown as a fighter. Hey, but Jahliel, I appreciate it, bro. That was the first episode of Talk Smack with Mac MMA. And I know I'm about to see you back on here after your fight, or maybe even like a little bit before if you want to get back on again and just share.
Maybe even with Cat Daddy or something like that. You know?
Hey, both you guys will get like a 3-way Zoom and get weird.
Yeah.
All right, brother. I appreciate it, man. And I'll see you back on Talk Smack with Mac MMA again soon.
No problem. Peace.
All right, later.